Alright, so sorry about the interruption, but I ran out of minutes on the phone. I had to delete all the videos, right?
On a hilltop in eastern Turkey called Göbekli Tepe.
So this is called Göbekli Tepe in Turkey.
Archaeologists have unearthed an 11,000-year-old complex of...
So it's 11,000 years ago, almost 12. What did I tell you? 1,000 years represents a day. 6,000 years before the time recorded from the Bible. Almost, right? So, Now, some say also, since the Lord keeps replenishing the earth, right? Especially me now, right? We don't know how long we've been here, but we think it's at least 250,000 years, right? The entire human race, right? And that recently was when we started civilizing ourselves, right? So that's where we're at with this story. This has to do with Eden, right, too.
And predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered it was erected by hunter-gatherers, obliterating the theory that nomadic tribes never built in stone.
So, a lot of things they're finding out were misidentified, right?
Intricate carvings suggest the people at one with nature in a landscape brimming with wildlife. From pigs to birds, wild cats.
They ate pigs too, unlike the Jews, right?
Media quickly connected Göbekli Tepe to the Bible's most famous story, the Garden of Eden.
That story is at the foundation of Western thought. Whether we like it or not, that story is embedded in our worldview.
In 2006, Germany's most popular weekly magazine, Der Spiegel, splashed the story on its front cover. The idea had taken hold. For some, the Garden of Eden story is an attempt to answer a question common to all.
Sounds like Harry Potter music, don't it?
Did we get here?
It doesn't matter whether talking about Buddhists or Hindus or Jews or Christians or Muslims. The human being is designed to want to fill the brain that we have with more and more understanding.
Now, I'm just recording the audio so you can understand, not the video.
Trying to understand why we are really here.
For many, the search begins in the Old Testament, with the clues laid out in the text of Genesis chapters 2 and 3. It describes an earthly paradise at the point where 4 rivers split.
Now, of the 4 rivers mentioned in the Bible that's coming out of the garden, 2 of them are the Tigris and Euphrates. That means the Garden of Eden has got to be somewhere up there in the northern regions of what was Mesopotamia and today's Turkey.
While Göbekli Tepe sits right in the sweet spot for this biblical hunt, Göbekli Tepe is not the first place to be held up as a possible original paradise. Over the centuries, scholars have claimed that other ancient Mesopotamian sites could be Eden.
You have people claiming that the Garden of Eden is in southern Mesopotamia near the Persian Gulf. You've got people claiming that it's northern Mesopotamia in Turkey. What this shows is very simply, A, we don't know, and B, these people missed the point.
For most scholars, the hunt for the biblical paradise is futile. For the faithful, the book of Genesis tells a theological story, not one that can be proven with archaeology. Still, neither scientists nor theologians...
But that does make it a little mythical, and that's the problem. And some people treat it like it's real. That's another problem. You understand what I mean?
Animal predominates. there's one enclosure where a lot of foxes appear, and in another one there are a lot of boars. In another enclosure, there's a very strong focus on birds.
Birds, right?
Archaeologists believe these carvings may represent tribal signatures. It's interpretation, it's speculation, but we have the idea that each enclosure may belong to a certain group, was erected and used by a certain group. If each enclosure represents a different tribe, but each tribe was using similar symbols carved into the rock, it flies in the face of decades of theory.
But that's again why Jesus says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," because then you're acting like you're know it all.
Contact with neighboring tribes.
You don't know it all.
Part of something bigger.
See, if you're learning as you go along, you could be wrong. You could be wrong.
Common culture, common background.
That's just advice, not right.
Of the region had enough in common.
Well, like I keep telling the person, if they're doing something to harm me, right, and causing me my amnesia, right, whatever's going on, it knows where we're at, even if we don't. And if it's helping me, we're all doing something wrong, right? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
And agreeing that these symbols mean the same thing to them. Gobekli acts as this prehistoric Mecca, unifying people.
But some people, again, want to destroy the past because they don't want to know where they're really from, right? That's the problem with the Muslims destroying other religious artifacts that have nothing to do with them, right? They might be destroying a part of someone's history that proves the Bible wrong. And see, that's part of what you're trying to do if you're a Muslim, right? You don't want to believe everything in the Bible either, right? But if it's wrong and you destroy the monument that proves it's wrong, well, you're helping the Jews then, right? You understand? Right. Right.
But what was attracting them all to Gobekli Tepe? The broken up
But I'm teaching with the program, right? See, I'm learning and willing to change what I learned too, but also saying, look, there is a truth out there. You got to seek it, though, to find it, right? You got to knock on a few doors for it to be open for you. And you got to ask questions to get to the final answer. To receive. You're not doing none of that. You act like you already know. We don't.
Rather, Gobekli Tepe seems to have played host to epic meat-fueled feasts.
Right.
The tribes of
And this again would technically be before the flood, right? By again, how many years? Five. Right? So, like I said at one point now about the Ice Age, anyway, this is also would be associated with the Ice Age, by the way. Right. If you got ice and it melts quickly, what would that cause? A flood? If the planet gets hotter and colder as well, I know. And now we did it with dinosaur fuel, right? You're taking it for granted. We're taking it for granted. You don't know what you're doing, and like most people who don't know what they're doing, you charge headlong into it like idiots. And then you ruin the planet before we can even do anything about it, right? Because we don't know. What's wrong. Right. We don't really see the effects of it immediately, right? It takes time and things, to change things, right? But obviously we're changing things slowly, right? But quickly enough that we're kind of noticing it now. Our fuck up again. Excuse my French, right? Now, like I said, if anything got us kicked out of Eden, don't you think that it would be rough sex on Adam's part with Satan rather than rape? Biting into a little piece of apple. Which do you think? And see, the problem ain't the sex between the male and the female either. That's what you're trying to pretend to. No, it'll be between the male and the male, right? The same sex problem, right? Because, see, one's just about pleasure, One's about reproduction and having children. But some men even hate the high-pitched screams of a child, right? Why do you think I'm messing with you about the damn beeper or the damn alarm in the back bedroom there, right? Some men can't even stand high-pitched sounds, right? I'm not one of them. That's why it don't bother me. That's why I don't bother you. You understand what I'm doing there, right? If a man is bothered by high-pitched sounds, you don't want to have his baby because his baby's going to be as bond as Satan. And I'm telling you, he's an ass. I know. Even if you did have his baby, right?
Well, you can't.
I can't stop that, right? But I don't think it's mine, right? Either. Even if I had a hit at the girl.
Hunter-gatherer tribes, assembling for ritual purposes. It may represent the first steps towards an organized religion, shattering the theory that religious behavior came out of later settled societies. For those who believe
And that we were meat eaters pretty much from the beginning, too. That's another myth the Bible kind of says, right? That we were more plant eaters than meat eaters. Though, again, if you're a hunter-gatherer society, you work in both realms, right? You got to learn to plant a garden in the middle of a desert sometimes, right? To bring your food to you, right? Hunter-gatherer. Now, what are you gathering? Fruits and vegetables, right? From the trees in the Garden of Eden, right? But trees are also mindsets, right? See, you can follow the trees of life, which are those who follow Jesus and Michael. Now, Michael is Jesus' other name in heaven. See, that's what the Jehovah's Witness means. There's not one name for Jesus, right? In heaven, he's as God, which is what Michael means, right? Who as God, right? But you're not wanting to hear it all from anybody. And see, then what you're doing is you're breaking off little pieces of the truth. Not the whole. See, you're making it an issue, right?
version of human history, the discoveries at Göbekli Tepe are an exciting development.
Humans originally had a kind of idealistic life where everything was given to them. But then as a result of a transgression, they end up having to really support themselves by very, very great toil and great effort.
Right.
Now,
another way to understand that is we all came from another planet, and again, the ruler is Jesus, the usurper is Satan, right? I know. And he's trying to steal the kingdom from Jesus, and this is the result of that as well. Right. When we finally got here from where we came from, right. We came from the heavens, so they say, right? Now, Jesus is also going to prepare another place for us that where he is, we may be also. It could be like a scouting party, for our next planet we are moved to, right? I just think outside the box and just accept things easier than you, I guess.
in their way of living.
You can see things you don't want to see, right?
Dr. Rainder Neath is a specialist in ancient plants.
They were probably experimenting with cultivation of cereals, and that is something which you can expect from people who are building such incredible monuments. They were experimenting, and not only with stone, but also with plant material.
Scientists think Göbekli Tepe was blessed with the perfect grassland environment to begin humanity's experiment with plant cultivation.
But see, part of the myth is that we came here as adults, right? Well, if you're born somewhere else and you are brought here, you're an adult, right? Right? But again, like with some of the recent movies and some of the recent sci-fi and some of the recent things they're finding about UFOs and stuff like that, right? Something's flying around us, right? Unless it's just lights of the camera they're somehow editing into the frame somehow, right? I mean, whatever it is, it looks like a what? Ball of light mainly, right? And yeah, it's also like a machine, right? Parts of it too, right? Well, if you're inside the machine and you're humanoid, you don't want the people outside to know what's going on because you're either visiting or doing something either in the future or in the past, right? Exactly. Now, if it's in the future you're doing this and you're coming back in the past, you still have to mind the timeline, right? Like I told you. One of the dangerous things about time travel is you can't interrupt the past, right? Or you destroy the future, right? You live in now or then, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Those are the rules of time travel. Now, again, the problem is, like with Bill and Ted, whoever wins, wins, by the way. Ultimately. But see, you gotta piece it all together into one statement. The truth is one statement that contains everything on the planet, right? And explains it all. Not just what you want it to explain. See, that's your problem too, right? See, Constantine wrote his creed, okay? And the Orthodox did too, with bias towards the Gnostic Gospels, right? But if you read both, I know, the Bible and the Gnostic Gospels, right, you see both are in the Bible. So only one is true because only one contains all the information, the Gnostic Gospels. Therefore, the Orthodox is fake. It's a lie. It's a lie. It don't contain everything in the Bible, right? The Bible is trying to tell you things you don't see every day too, right? Especially about a unicorn, right? Whatever that is, it's not something you see every day anymore, perhaps, right? But they knew of it, so whatever it is, it's trying to represent, right? Even if it's something that went extinct, like the dodo bird, right? You can't prove it didn't exist either. That's your problem with this planet too. If we come from another planet too, right? Think about it. And whatever was here was already here too. We don't know that either. Or it was brought here before us. Another way to look at it. Dumbass. Right. Real dumbasses. All right. Because you don't want to know the truth either. It might mean you're doing something wrong that you need to quit doing, you think?
Immobile crops.
So, of course, if you want to keep doing something you're doing wrong, ignorance is bliss. Again, to quote the Matrix. If you don't know something, ignorance is bliss, right? But if you learn something, you can't lie about it either. You're part of the problem, right?
Offered an opportunity for analysis. On a hunch,
I can't make you.
Southern Germany.
You're so evil, I don't know what to classify you as.
Biotechnologist with a lab at the
But you know God's waking me up if you're blacking me out, right?
His team prepared the residue from
And the girl saw it, right? I know she did.
A surprising result.
Now, I would recognize Malizi or any woman from my past, even if he suddenly showed up out the blue, except maybe for Sheena, because unless her boobs got bigger, she had maybe a B cup. She wasn't really endowed. Right. And was kind of tall. She was about maybe an inch taller than me. Right. But But I also don't know they can't grow, right? Right. If she had a baby or things like that with other men or whatever, right? I don't know that either, right? I'll let it go. Eventually. And I was never really obsessed with her. I was just trying to figure out if she was my wife or not. There's a difference. Because I don't know who it is. I don't know. And I don't like screwing a girl and just abandoning her whether I got her pregnant or not. Which is some of the things I was talking about with her in my letters to her. Because I'd be concerned about that. The real shame, Lee. I don't fuck a woman and leave a woman on purpose, right? And the only thing the guy at the salon did is ban me from the salon using the police to do so. So I can't go in the salon even if I want to, right? Because he involved the police, see? I ain't going to argue with him. You're not going to argue with him. Because there's too many salons I can go to and not have that issue with him and his salon, which is over the girl. And what we did or didn't do, right? Now, if you're blacking me out, that's telling me we did something you didn't want us to do, so it's got to be sex. Come on. Denying it was sex is you don't want to admit why she had sex with you. Was your fault too. You know you're not supposed to put her to work at 15 because she told me she was 37. And you're still supposed to wait a year. You're still supposed to wait a year. Even if you want to train her in that job, she can't do it until she's certified. No, she can't. And she's got to have a GED, which is high school equivalent. This girl was acting like she done went to college and the university and had a degree and all this. Right? I don't know. But if she's lying to me to protect him, maybe. That's also why she would go into the bathroom to prove she's 37. Not me. I didn't have to prove anything. I know I'm 51. Even if I look younger too. Right, to her. Okay, like I said about age, men are trying to look younger too, as with women, right? Even as you get older. Right? And younger girls are trying to look older. Right? And younger boys too, right? It's the game we play about sex, love, and marriage. I know. The thing is, you don't want to admit she chose all that, right? If she got pregnant or not, I don't know that either, but I'm aware of the possibility, right? And I'm also aware she got wet before whatever happened between me and her, right? She was either sexually responding to me or the women were messing with her, like I said, about my ability to control myself around her, right? Which I don't know that either. Now, if she also went to college, like I said, I'm going to look at that differently, right? If she's working as a nail technician, right? But that's kind of a demotion if she went to college. See, I'm thinking about it more after the fact, too, than in the heat of the moment, right? See, in the heat of the moment, the girl can interact with me and me her, and we can both go in the bathroom and no one can do nothing about it until we get out. Now, if that's what he blacked out, but he don't want me to remember, I know why. And we were in there for 15 minutes at least, and then we discussed it maybe for 5, and then he did whatever he did and left, and then I healed, and then again we went back to the nail job, right? Her doing my nails, right? And that happened at least 3 times for at least an hour period of time, right? Because normally it takes 40 minutes to do the job. Now, the job did seem quicker with her than, again, previously with the other nail technicians, right? And I'm doing a comparison too, dumbass. That's why I know. That's why I know I would have sex with her too, like Mommy D, if she wanted to, right? But she has to want to, right? See, she has to go into the bathroom with me voluntarily. I don't make them do nothing they don't want to do, right? That's a waste of my time, right now. Anybody's time.
The analysis suggests that the 11,000-year-old stone troughs of Göbekli Tepe containing beer.
I believe
Alcohol.
there's a good possibility that beer was inside these vessels, but you cannot be absolutely sure.
Troughs.
That's within 1,000 years, too, of my time on, right?
Göbekli's ritual feasts.
I know.
And the bigger the celebration,
Which is 12,000
the greater
years.
the need for cereals to supply the brewers.
From today.
Organizing feast, including these huge amounts of meat and maybe the alcoholic beverages, might put some stress to an economy based on hunting.
Any party must be well supplied.
Duh.
Nobody can let the refreshments run dry.
Nope.
In order to adequately supply their Stone Age festival, the people of Göbekli Tepe needed a reliable source of sustenance. So they turned to their crops.
These people were already gathering plants and they were nourishing on plants. And whether it was some kind of gruel or if it really was beer, this might have been the stimulus to farming.
Right.
If this theory is correct, the single most important turning point in the history of civilization may have been caused by the craft brewers of the Stone Age. At Göbekli Tepe,
Even Paul says, drink a little wine.
bringing a nomadic
Drink a
culture
little.
together. How did they need to provide for that immense social
And we
need?
know he's not talking about grape juice, so they drink that frequently, right?
Anthropologists
And we know he's not talking about water, right?
revolution.
So he must be fermented drink that contains alcohol. Mm-hmm.
You know, we have cereal grains. That all happened because of the Neolithic Revolution. What Göbekli does give us is a window.
But see, we all have prejudices, though, right? Your problem is prejudicing towards me, right? Now, if she is your daughter, you're making her vulnerable to a 51-year-old man who she was afraid knew she was 15, right? But had sex with me as if she was 37, right?
Suffered a fall from grace and were sent from Eden to work the
Land,
land.
right?
After Adam eats the fruit of knowledge, he's sentenced to have to toil the fields by the sweat of his own brow. What is this fruit of knowledge? In some Jewish traditions, it is a grain of wheat. So some have suggested this symbolizes the transition to farming, the transition to having to produce our own food.
But you can't accept I might be right without knowing the truth. I'm telling you the truth too, right? I'm telling you things you don't hear, right? But contradicts the Bible, but also backs it up too, right? How is that possible? Well, when Moses wrote it, he too is exposed to different religious beliefs growing up, right? And he took the best stories, right, including the Epic of Gilgamesh, and put it in the Bible, idiot. That's the point. It's neither true nor false. It's neither true nor false. It's what they believed back then, right? Collaborated into one book, the Torah, the law. But also, Jesus realized the problem is the law, because no man's really wanting to follow the law. So the real problem is you want to kill each other for breaking the same commandments, right? As each other, right? Two. If you commit adultery, whether it's with a male or a female, right? And males can commit adultery with males and females with females. And adultery is adultery, period. Even if you're two women or two men, right? Or a male and a female being together wrong, you're not right for each other either. It don't matter who the adulterer or adulteress is either, whether they're with a male or a female. Sex is about distracting yourself from being with your partner if you're doing it with the wrong person, right? But it's also to find the right person, right?
It's an extraordinary
See, that's all you can do, right? Either someone wants sex with you or they don't, right?
Fall of man, of agriculture, all bundled into one. It deserves to be properly memorialized with a little of the good stuff.
And he's drinking a beer.
Homebrewed beer that kick-started it all.
Of course. But you don't think that could be kind of biased?
Jonah, the prophet swallowed by a whale,
Right.
and then confronts a wicked king. His story is so bizarre, it seems it could never have happened.
But did it?
But now, from the ruins In a labyrinth of tunnels come shocking new discoveries that take scholars back to this Old Testament story and plunges them deep into an ancient world of fungus and
Insects.
These extraordinary discoveries
That's what it's always about, ain't it? You want to violently
one of the Bible's
stop me
greatest and strangest stories.
after we had sex and don't want me to remember that we had sex when I know the only reason I would lose time is sex, right? The only reason I won't remember her is sex. Not the other way around, right? I'm not blacked out when I don't have sex, right? I'm only blacked out when I do now recently, you know. And like I told you, I black out for different periods. Used to be up to 4 hours with the car wreck. So I woke up in the ER there, right? And 3-story fall, I woke up in the ER. I don't know how much time passed, right? All I know is I was trying to get on the window ledge at the fall, and I was taking little Roddy to Vivian's, right? When the car wreck happened, right? Now, whatever happened, though, happened on the way home. On the way home from there, right? I probably at least made it to Vivian's, right? Past 10 minutes, curve. Past 10 minutes, curve. But see, your problem is mine's not fictional. Yours is. Yes, I'm having to figure out the details they're not telling me. Because someone's lying here, right? Now, someone also had to contact my step-parent. And mom and mom. Now, even stepdads, though, can go bad, but hopefully that's another hypothetical I can't prove or disprove. Though I have to go there to also attempt to clear his name, right? I don't know. My mom's too, right? You also got to consider, well, what was your mom doing, or what was someone else doing that you don't know they were doing, right? Especially with this kind of knowledge we have now, right? And the main problem we argue about the most is what? Sex. Bye.